This is my xmotos xb-38 125 fully street legal dirt bike. I did get it from Go Karts USA, but I recommend nobody ever buying from that company. For literally a year, I fought to get the MCO from this company. They continuously stated that xmotos doesn't give them out because they consider the bikes to be toys. And so for a year, I fought them on that because I had talked to local, state, and federal EPA, NHTSA, DMV, DOT, and then Attorney General's offices in North Dakota and California about it, and they've all basically said, as long as the vehicle is more than, or goes faster than 20 miles per hour, is more than 49 cc's, and has its own VIN number, mine has one there, and the plaque is up there, then it should get that so that you can get your title. So California didn't really do anything for me, and the only time, after a year, I finally contacted the Attorney General's office here in my own state, and that's, lo and behold, a month later, I got a title, or my MCO. And I contacted Go Karts USA and asked them why they decided to change their minds after a year. And they said, oh, well, we had to get a duplicate copy. Well, that's BS because they continuously said there was no MSO because xmotos considers the bikes to be toys. So after I turned them in, I finally got it. I went and registered it the next day, got my insurance, and I got my title in the mail. So I have that now, and my license plate is still coming though. In the meantime, I do have my temporary license plate. I'm not covered up because anybody can see that anyway if I'm driving the bike out on the street, so I don't quite understand why people cover them. But anyway, back to the bike. So some of the things that I have added, because this did not come factory with all the stuff that I got on it now. The only thing that came with it as far as street legal, or so I could make it street legal, was the lighting stator and the gear selector wires. So other than that, I've made my own wire harness because those cheap Chinese ones on eBay are junk. The gauge of the wiring is just terrible. Now my harness doesn't look the greatest, but it still works. I made it. It's got thick wire here. I added the battery. If you look in the back there, not sure if you can see that, but there is a fuse box back there. So whether I get a wiring issue or a fuse issue and the fuse blows, it'll light a little red dot and I'll know which one to fix. I added this because this is a direct charger. I can plug my battery into the wall and then just charge it that way versus finding somebody to charge it or jump me. Because the way I got this bike set up is that it will not start. It is only kickstart. It's not a e-start motor. But regardless, it will not kick over if the key is off and if the kill switch is not on. They both have to be on or it won't kick over. It'll just not, it cuts out the spark the way that I have it. So basically, yeah, I do have an air filter, and this is the Mikuni, cheap rip-off Mikuni VM22. It's an okay car, but constantly having to change jets or something. But anyway, so I turn the key on, turns my light in the front on, come around the back, turns on my tail lights. My tail lights when I hit the rear brake, does that, front brake, does that. And I added these hand guards, I added these LED strips for my blinkers. This is what they'll look like. And then I got my high and my low. I did add a LED bulb in that headlight too. The headlight's for a KTM dirt bike, but it matches my xmotos, so I just took out the standard cheap light bulb and added that bulb in there. Some of the other things that I've done to this bike, it does have a oil cooler that I added up there. It's got a racing CDI it doesn't have the governor in it. Right there. Racing coil. What else? Oh, and then I added a stator or a rectifier regulator back there to turn all the AC voltage into DC. to run all of this stuff that I've added. I do have foot pegs here. I just welded a nut on there, then I screwed this big bolt for rear foot pegs. It's good enough. Then I added this speedometer. It's got a tack on it. Speedometer changes. It has like 5 different colors. Tells me how many miles are on the bike. And LEDs. It's got different colors for lights. Like I can change the color from green, blue, dark blue, another green, red, purple. And but it doesn't have this gauge doesn't work because I don't have fuel level sensor in the tank. There's no heat gauge on here. It just tells me high and low. Tells me my blinkers. Does tell me what gear I'm in, which is only up to 4. And so far, since I've had it all done, I've gone 221 miles. There's probably about another 30 miles or so on this bike. What else haven't I covered? I think that's pretty much about it, but let's see here. Yeah, I don't have street tires on it, but whatever, these dirt bike tires work just fine. I am going to be getting a bigger head and cylinder from T-Bolt USA, and then a better clutch. That'll step this 125 up to 146 in the near future. Oh, the way that the speedometer works is this wire here goes into the speedometer, and then it reads on these little magnets that I drilled into my rotor here. And then when the wheel spins, just reads it, and it's really accurate. I mean, I've measured it on the digital road speed signs on the side of the road or whatever, and my bike's always on with those. So, if you got any questions, you can leave a comment, and I'll try to get back to you with some answers. I'm not going to go over in detail about how I wired this all up, but if you got some questions, I can try to answer them slowly, because I just kind of watched a crap ton of videos in order to get this to work on YouTube, and some researching on Google. So pretty much what I did, anybody can do. You just have to spend some time doing your research. You got any more questions? Yeah, like I said, leave a comment. Otherwise, this is my street legal 125, and it does max out. I'm not sure. I got it up to 44 today, so maybe it'll go 45 on a nice straight stretch, but otherwise 44 is max at the moment. So, peace.